you start doing something and you get yourself motivated, because you have to motivate yourself first.
Exactly.
And that's where everything starts from. Once you start and motivate yourself, it's just like coming to church. You start, but you got to keep doing it.
Exactly.
So once you stop, then guess what? You go right back into that old regime.
Exactly.
And I remember, like, when I first started with Andrew, I was running at, what, 3.5, 5?
Yeah, 3.5.
And now I'm up to 8 miles an hour. You know, last minute, like, trying it out. And it takes mental first, you know, forgetting everything around you.
Exactly.
You know, that's why the song that we sing, you know, forget about yourself and concentrate on God. It's the same thing. You forget about everything around you and concentrate on yourself. Because that's where it starts. He always says something to me in the beginning that stuck with me for up until this day. He said, your future self will thank you. And that's something that always stuck with me. My future self will thank me. And you know, when you talk about like getting like your self-esteem and stuff up, you know, when the weight start falling off you and you start seeing a difference, you start to get your mindset like, yo, you know, because I started with him, I was 386. Now I'm 332. I'm 54 pounds lighter. And when I look in the mirror, I don't see the big guy no more. I'm starting to see like where I'm going to be. You know, and it's just like anything. Once you start, you're looking at the end of the tunnel.
Exactly.
You know, you want to see the finishing line.
Exactly.
And even when I get to the finish line, I'm still gonna be with him like, yo, let's go. You know, let's go heavier or something. You know, I'll be there to motivate him, like motivate ourselves. But it's just the thing, just to start. And you know, just like, you know, he's gonna talk about relationship. You know, and give you like some pointers. You know, and once you start, man, and you keep motivating yourself and keep going, self-motivation is the best thing. You know, you can't just sit there and hope for people to motivate you all the time. If you don't motivate yourself, then guess what? What's the sense of you doing it? Because now when I look at myself in the mirror, I say it's me versus me. It ain't me versus nobody else no more. I'm competing against myself. So if myself don't want to go, I'm going to force you to go. You know, just the other day, I worked 4 a.m., got off work at 4, went and worked out with Andrew, and then left there, went home, took a shower, went back to work at 9 o'clock at night. That's motivating myself. Like, listen, you have to do it. You have to get it in. And once you have that mentality, everything else is like...
True, definitely. And goals are very important too. When you like literally write down, like you have your goals written down in front of you, like if you want to get to a certain point in life or you want to achieve something, when you have those things written down, say you have them written down in your room or wherever, you pretty much are you're holding yourself accountable to that. So you have to do what you have to do in order to get them. If you don't, you're gonna be frustrated and be like, oh man, I gotta get these and I have to do what I have to do to get there. You know? So that's something I developed for myself in order to get over that hump also, you know, in the past of me being inconsistent and caring about what other people think about me and all that stuff. So when I literally have something down that I want to achieve, you know, I don't care about what anybody else thinks of me while executing it. You know what I'm saying? For example, we go to the gym, and this is what I try to drill in Dwayne and his wife also. Stop caring about what anybody else thinks around you. If you see people around you looking at you, just know that it's probably someone in a position that is probably in the same position that you're in, and they're trying to lose weight or whatever. So they'll look to try and relate to you, to see what you're doing to try and get to that point. So don't even care about them. The people who are even, say that, like, for example, somebody like me who's like in a good shape or whatever, if it's, we know what it takes to get to that point. So we respect that. So if you go into a gym where there's you see a lot of guys that are well into shape, just know that they didn't always look like that. They didn't always know what to do lifting, and they didn't know what to eat and all that stuff. You had a lot of guys that weren't in good shape at all. They just went through the same process. So that's how you got to look at it like that.
They just started before you.
Exactly. They're just at an advanced point into their journey. So when you go into the gym, bro, it's crunch time. You see me when I go into the gym, I hammer. I don't care about what anybody else thinks. You know what I'm saying? Once you develop that mindset, that's when you realize, or you start to see yourself doing whatever you went there to do. You're gonna do it to the best of your ability. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, because I started off there, and like now it's like I'm looking at him like, bro, that weight is light. Come
Yeah,
on. He's like, no, chill. You're not going there yet. And I'm like ready to like, just like, go beast mode.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, take it back, chill.
You're his coach and his wife's?
Yes. I train both him and Shaniel, and also Julia.
Minister McCloughan.
Yeah, also Julia.
So can I ask you this?
Yes.
Would the insecurities start off in the mind? Because you mentioned the mind frame, right?
Exactly.
So usually before it gets to a place where somebody feels uncomfortable with their outer, do you think they feel uncomfortable with something in the mind?
Most definitely, that's where it starts. It starts in the mind. It starts where the biggest thing, the biggest problem in the mind is anxiety. You get anxious. Your heart starts to race. You start to panic. Nobody wants to feel like that. That's why a lot of times people shy away from whatever. If you understand what I'm trying to say. That's the problem. Anxiety is like such a horrible thing, man. Especially when it gets when it turns out to be a really severe case. It's a horrible feeling that some people need help with.
Paralyzed.
You know what I'm saying? Some people need help with, getting them over that hump. So it starts within the mind, and not everyone can deal with it, in the best way possible. Sometimes you need a coach, you need somebody to help you to develop that, that motivation, high self-esteem and all that stuff. And that's where I come in with my clients too. When Dwayne started out with me, he didn't want to do much, man. He didn't even want to come to the gym without Shaniel.
Now I'm ready to go whenever.
Yeah, he didn't even want to.
Wait, so who was the driving force between Chanel and Dwayne?
Driving force between both of them?
Yeah.
I would say that's a tough one.
50-50.
He just seems. I understand that he wanted to get healthy, but
Yeah. Oh man. All right. So when they just started out, I'm gonna try and put this in the best way possible. Shaniel kind of started out with a fearful mentality.
what do you mean by that?
In terms of, she was kind of scared that it was going to hurt, or with the diet thing and all that stuff. She kind of started out timid. Now she's a beast. She's a beast.
Heard that, Chanel? We were talking about you.
Yeah, Shaniel's a beast right now. Shaniel is an athlete. Like, with all the lifts that I, taught her how to do, how to execute the lifts and everything, she looks like all perfect now.
Yeah.
When you see her now, you think she's been lifting for a long time, and within the short space of time that she was able to do that, it's crazy. And Dwayne is doing awesome as well. So, man, I would say it's a 50-50, man.
Yeah,
it's a 50-50.
He don't want to put his foot in his mouth.
When we went on that trip to Jamaica, I mean, she was right there with us.
Yeah.
Whether we were falls or
Yeah.
She was there.
right there with us. And
Wasn't scared.
And I'm like,
No,
wow.
she ride and die though.
I was shocked though.
She ride and die.
I didn't know she had it in her.
She gonna
Yeah.
do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
She gonna do it.
It's just that sometimes she has her days when she would slack off, and then she gets right back into it.
Yeah, everybody has those.
I don't know if it's. I just think she just worries about that treadmill,
But she's doing so well on it now.
and that's the thing. Like she
She's
could
the-
conquer it.
Yeah.
But like once Andrew started, like it was the same thing for me too. Cause you get comfortable like running at like 5.5 miles or 6,
Okay.
and then he just leans over there and he's like, "Come on, man, up."
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh man."
Yeah.
So it seems like you go into plateaus. So what happens when you get to that plateau? When you get to that point where you're comfortable at this, and you
That's
don't
when
want to.
he hypes you up more.
Yes, I would have. Yes. For example, Marlon, I see you. You're one of the people who you'd get into a plateau. You got into a plateau the other day, and we need to get you back on track, even though you started strong again. Wow. What I would do personally, I'll call them out. I call them out big time.
I think that's something he does too.
Yeah, I call them out, and you got to get called out, man. This isn't a bunch of roses.
Check.
You gotta work. It's
Check.
work time. So you gotta call them out. You gotta make them uncomfortable sometimes, so they know that they gotta go work on something and come back stronger. If not, they're gonna stay in that position, and they're not gonna get the results they wanted. And one of the things I always say to them when I see them slacking is, "You're wasting your money, and then they'll step it up." That's what I say to them. I literally say that to them.
Money matters.
Yeah, money matters.